Hello and welcome back to the Cabral House Call. Today we're taking your questions on a Motivation and Mindset Monday. We have everything though from weight loss to self-help to reducing anxiety. Lots of great topics to talk about. And so what I want to do is I want to tell you that if you did not tune into the first episode on how to start somewhere, how to pick a plan, how to look for an advisor, and how many weeks to stick with that plan for to see if it's getting you results, definitely tune into that show. Really, really fun one for me to do. All right, so let's get into your questions today. The first one is from Sasha G. And Sasha is asking, I'm worried about passing my anxiety on to my children. What can I do? So this person, she's a mom. She is worried that her anxiousness during the day, that her children can sense that they're picking up on that, and that could lead to them having that same anxiety. Well, what I would say to Sasha is that typically it's not that simple. So yes, there is the whole nature versus nurture. So the nature part of it is that many people have anxiety because their body is not well. Their body is full of toxins. It's having difficulty in detoxification process, which means that they have higher levels of copper, higher levels of mercury, higher levels of not well processed or removed estrogen metabolites or neurotransmitter metabolites like norepinephrine. All of these things kind of moving in the bloodstream do affect the brain as well. The other thing is that there are certain methylation defects in your genetics that some people have, again, leading to less methyl donors, leading to potentially higher anxiety. Some people have less B vitamins. Some people have less magnesium that they need. All of these things. So Sasha, my first thing is get your body well. Your mind is affected by your body. Anyone who tries to tell you that this is a brain-only disorder just clearly does not understand the relationship between your physiology, which is your body, and your psychology, which is your mind. So you do have to fix that first. Running an organic acids test and a hair tissue mineral analysis is a great place to start for that. Lots of labs you could run. You could run the genetics test that we like to recommend to our wellness clients as well. That's fantastic, looking at your potential methylation-based issues. And then there's this part of it as well. So I can say that, okay, what's the other thing you can do? Well, you can work on the lifestyle part as well of reducing your own anxiety when you're stressed, is working on your breathing, calming down that sympathetic nervous system. Going back to one of my episodes where I spoke on basically meditation techniques for beginners as well. So it's kind of like, what are those things that you can do to bring the not act of meditation, but the state of meditation in your everyday life to kind of relax your body in the most stressful of situations? And I understand, easier said than done, right? I believe it's episode 46 of the Cabral Concept. Please do tune into that. And then the other thing is as well is understanding that your children, yes, they absolutely, the nurture part of it is they absolutely do tune into your anxiety levels. So again, working on your own wellness, working on your own genetics, and then supplementation, anything you need to help with that. But then also look at the source of your anxiety. You know, what is that? What is causing the most stress? And is there anything you can do to kind of dampen that? Now, maybe you can't reduce it completely. I totally understand that. But if it's a stress part of it, like getting your kids ready for school in the morning, you're kind of running right down to the wire. Can you get things started 15 minutes early? Just 15 minutes, and that 15 minutes then would get you out the door 15 minutes earlier, which would then make you early, which would then reduce that sense of anxiety. So what I'm saying is this. Look at the things that you can control, because there's so much in life that we can't control, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. But looking at your own health and then looking at the things you control from a lifestyle standpoint may help you better control your own anxiety. And then you don't have to be as worried that your children are picking up on this anxiousness, because yes, they absolutely do. Now, maybe they mimic it, maybe they don't. That's partly based on their nutrition. It's based on their inflammatory levels. It's based on their genetics, all of those, coping mechanisms as well. So what I would say is work on them with the same exact things that you're working on yourself, but try to work on yourself first. It's just so important that we're always taking care of others, when really, if we took care of ourselves a little bit better, we'd be so much better for others as well. All right. Thank you for that question. Happy to do a follow-up if I didn't answer it in the way that you were looking for. All right. So Jen O is up next. Jen is asking, I just can't stick with a weight loss or wellness plan for more than a week. What should I do? And her longer question went into she has difficulty when it gets to the weekend, difficulty keeping that self-control, difficulty just staying with a plan. So she'll do really well Monday through like Thursday night, Friday, maybe midday, and then kind of loses it on the weekend. This is obviously very common. So Jen, don't think that you're the only one with this issue. Many, many people have this issue. The problem is that at some point, you have to be able to push through that first weekend. So that's why we ask for our clients to give us that first 21 days, which I spoke about in the Cabral Concept. And the reason we ask for that is because you need to break the cycle at some point. And sometimes that means simply taking a weekend off. Basically, it's kind of like a vacation for yourself. And what that allows you to do is say, okay, well, this weekend I'm just going to catch up on cleaning up my house, organizing my house, getting extra sleep, maybe reading a book, watching a movie that I didn't want to. Take a little you time if possible. And then that keeps you out of harm's way, as I like to say, right? So if you're not going out with your friends, then you might not be consuming alcohol. You might be not tempted with food and appetizers. And once you have one drink or two drinks, then your inhibitions go a little bit, and then you're more likely to have some food that you wouldn't typically want to have. So if you can, just make it through that one weekend, take a vacation off from the rest of life. That will go a long way. Why? Because you've just gone then 7 days, Monday through Sunday, and now you can take the next Monday through Friday, and now you've added another 5 on top of that. So now you've gone, 15 days or so. Hopefully my math is right, 13 days or so, something like that. And so what that means is now you're going to better regulate your blood sugar levels. You can have less of those cravings, and you're going to have maybe even a little bit better self-control that next time you go out. But at some point, I really do believe that you need to take a little sabbatical from all of the things in life that are causing you to not achieve the goals that you want. I mean, if going out to dinner with your friends is you have to cheat, you don't have that, I don't know if self-control is the best word, but it's the word I'll use here. You don't have the ability to say no yet. And everyone does in the beginning. I mean, everybody goes through that. It's not just you. It's just you get better at it and better at saying, oh, you know what? I can still go with my friends. I can still order food, but I just have to order, a specific dish that's not the fried food or whatever it might be. So you'll get there. It's just you need a little time to yourself, a little bit of you time, so that when you do go back, and even if you go back after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, well, then you go with your friends that one night or so, you can have a cheat meal, and then that's not going to affect your progress as much. So Jen, I hope that answers your question. And again, happy to do a follow-up on that as well. Our last question today is from Franklin. Franklin asks, how often do you listen to motivation or self-help books or tapes or anything like that? Okay, so good question. And you know what? For me, it was literally an everyday thing until I got to the place in my life where it was just repeating the soundtrack in my head automatically so that I didn't need to listen to them in the first place. And sometimes that takes a few weeks, sometimes months, and sometimes years, depending on my interpretation is and my philosophy is that the faster you start implementing it, the less you need to listen to those tapes. Okay, because the reason is you have to get started. Once you get a little bit of momentum going, that momentum then starts to get you carrying you forward, and then you don't need to listen to it as much. And again, I don't know if they even make tapes in the world anymore, but now we're talking about like MP3s, YouTube videos, whatever it might be, right? So what I would say is, until you've gotten to the place in your life that you want to get to, or at least on the right track, there's no harm, and I would say it's just a fantastic thing in general to do, to keep up with self-help, to keep up with anything you find motivational on a daily basis. That means just reading 10 minutes in the morning to get yourself started, or in 10 minutes before bed. That can go a long way. It really can. Because keeping yourself motivated first thing in the morning puts you in the right mindset. And then before bed, it puts you in that right mindset for what you're going to do when you wake up that next morning. So Franklin, keep listening to those self-help books on tape or however you do listen to it as much as you can until really it becomes a part of you, and then you can wean yourself off of it. And the nice thing is, for myself included, they're there for me to go back to whenever I want, and that's what I really appreciate. They never go out of style. That advice never goes out of style. It is always what you need at the time in your life to get you to that next level. Thank you again for tuning in today on the Cabral House Call. As a thank you for tuning in today, I wanted to share with you the #1 system my private clients in Boston and now all over the United States are using to lose weight, decrease bloating, improve digestion, eliminate skin issues, and increase their energy all day long. It's called the Dr. Cabral Detox, and without going into all the details right now, simply go to drcabraldetox.com and you can find out how my proven, simple 7-day system can help you lose weight and feel great. There's no hype, there's no marketing, and best of all, it's guaranteed or your money back. And as a thank you for being a listener of the Cabral Concept, I'd like to offer you $10 off your next 7, 14, or 21-day Dr. Cabral Detox purchase in the month of March. Simply enter the savings code MARCH10, all in lowercase, one word, when checking out. Thank you again for tuning in, and I look forward to hearing your success story soon.